Well, good morning. Thank you so much for coming to this yoga mix class. This is about 40 minutes or so, give or take, here or there on either side of that time frame. So if there's something that you need to experience in your body in this limited amount of time that I'm not offering, please feel free to adapt it into your practice today. Okay, so we're going to start in a comfortable seat. For me, that's sitting with my legs crossed. Sometimes that means sitting up on a bolster. You might have a different situation where you can't cross your legs quite like this. You might have to have your legs out in front of you instead. Totally fine. I would recommend getting some blocks involved for underneath your knees. Okay, so we'll sit up tall, sitting forward in our pelvis. Sometimes that means we need to lean a little forward first and then lift up our chest. Closing your eyes. Feel your core begin to engage from your pelvic floor. So zipping up from the pelvic floor all the way through the core, belly button. Feel your rib cage lift up and feel your rib cage drop back. Sometimes this brings our shoulders forward. So lift your shoulders up and roll them back a few times. And when you feel good with that, just set them down your shoulders. Check in with your jaw. A lot of times we point with our chin, right? So take your jawline back, and that might mean using your hand to press your chin back. Take a deep breath in, try to sit a little taller, reach up through the center of the top of your head. On your exhale, relax your shoulders. Hands are where it's most comfortable for you. Keeping your eyes closed. Inhale, let your belly expand through your lungs. Open up your mouth, a soft ah sound. Slowly let the air leave. Inhale through your nose. Open mouth, exhale. Inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause. Last open mouth. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause. Inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause. This time through your nose. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause. Inhale, 4. Pause. Exhale, 4. Pause. Slow breath in. And slow breath out. Take a few moments to practice breathing this way on your own. Count to yourself if that is helpful. Deep breath in. Slow breath out. If it's a part of your practice, palms together at the center of your chest, Anjali Mudra. Here you may like to create an intention for your practice. This could be anything, and it doesn't have to be anything. So prayer, mantra, silence. Deep breath in. And a slow breath out. Open up your eyes. So take a moment to roll your shoulders up and back, just slowly moving the body. Move one shoulder at a time if that's best for you. Let your shoulders settle. Bring your jawline back and then bring your chin down towards your chest. Keep lifting up your chest. Avoid rounding forward. Deep breath in. Slow breath out. Stay here, or right ear, right shoulder. Working with gravity. Notice your left shoulder. If it's really tight, it might be lifting up. You may start to lean. So keep the shoulder down if you can. Move your chin around if that feels available to you. Bring your chin back down to your center, chin to chest. Lifting up your chest and left ear over to your left shoulder. And if your whole body went with you like mine just did, reel it in. Notice those things about yourself. It's okay. Sometimes when we have super tight parts of the body, they just move a little bit different. You need some time to soften. So use your breath. Inhale. Exhale. Move through your chin if it's available. And bringing your chin back down to your chest, lift up your chest, shoulders back, lift up your head, and we'll begin to move through our side stretches. So a block on either side of you could be helpful. If it's hard for you to reach the floor and you have blocks, just pop your block up to a higher level. This could be different from side to side, right? Balance is only going to be relative to what's available in our bodies. So we'll start by placing the right hand down. This could be flat. This could be in a tent, popping up to the fingertips. Maybe you create a fist. If that's your choice, just make sure you're very aware of your own wrist stability. There's other ways to do this as well. You can implement a small weight to wrap your hand around. The same for the wrist stability, okay? So with your right hand down, sit up tall, engaging your core. Inhale, sweep your left arm up and overhead. Go slow. Maybe it's a big bend in your elbow. Maybe you need to move your arm across your body and overhead instead, okay? Sitting up tall, use your core, breathe in. On your exhale, try to reach that left arm up and over. Try to keep the shoulder down. That can be tricky. Shoulder down, chest lifted. Ground through the right hand. Ground through your pelvis. Deep breath in. Exhale and reach. And then bring your left hand down. So same thing, different side. What's different is what might be how you set yourself up, okay? With your left hand down, inhale, right arm reaches up. And again, notice if your whole body goes with you. I must be very tight on this side today. That's what I'm noticing. Full breath in to find some space. Exhaling to reach through the right hand. If you reach and your knees go up in the air, put a little block underneath your knees or elevate your pelvis. One more breath in. Exhale and reach. So moving at your own pace, right hand grounds. Use your inhale to reach up and over. Stay for as many breaths as you like. Your neck feels like it's okay to move it around. Slowly check that out. See how that goes in your body. And just at your own pace, an inhale to reach up and over, and an exhale to ground. One more on each side. Come back to your center. So take your hands behind you. Depending on how you are seated is where you'll put your hands. If you're on a bolster, maybe put your hands just at the back of the bolster. Or you're seated on the ground and you put your hands on the floor. You could pop up to the fingertips or do any of those little hand placements I mentioned earlier. Rotate your shoulders back. Squeeze the shoulder blades in. On your inhale, lift up your chest. Lift up your chin. On your exhale, tuck your chin. And walk your hands forward into a fold. And you could change your leg placement anytime if you get uncomfortable. This is very comfortable for me, so I'm not forcing anything. Shoulders back to lift up your chest. And when you reach through the top of your head, think of the length of your spine reaching behind you, tailbone reaching towards the floor, but not curving it down, just as straight as you can get it. There'll be a natural curve, of course. Deep breath in, slow breath out. Maybe after a few moments, your body starts to soften a bit, and you can deepen your stretch. You could use blocks under your forearms, block under your forehead, lots of options. Deep breath in, slow breath out. Lower your head down and walk your hands back towards your body, sitting up tall. All right, so now we'll move into our twist. If you need to be careful of your lower back and your hips, then take less of a twist or avoid the twist altogether. All right, so left hand's gonna go behind you. Right hand over to your left leg. Inhale to lift up your chest, still using your core. Exhale to twist, looking over your left shoulder. Pull shoulders down to lift your heart. Breathe in. Exhale to twist. Keep your core engaged. Come back to your center and just pause for a moment. When you're ready, shift to the other side. Right hand behind you, left hand to your right leg. Inhale, lift up your chest. Exhale and twist. Deep breath in, slow breath out. And coming back to your center, pausing for as much time as you need, and then move at your own pace. So left hand behind you, right hand to left leg. Inhale, heart lifts. Exhale to twist. Stay for as many breaths as you want to on each side. Balancing it out, making your way back to your center. Roll your shoulders back. Lift up your chest, breathe in. On your exhale, walk your hands forward into a second fold. And if you like, lower your head down. See how that changes the stretch down your spine. And walk your hands back up towards your body. All right, so now we'll move into our leg stretches. We'll take the right leg out to the right. Left foot into the right thigh. If you cannot bring your left leg in towards the right thigh, that is no problem. Just wherever your left leg is. Knee is probably up in the air, so put some sort of support underneath it. You can angle it even to help you. And then maybe over time, you can bring the foot in a little bit more. Maybe the hamstring or knee, hip flexor, whatever sort of tightness you have going on there, maybe it softens over time, okay? Maybe it's none of those things and that's never gonna happen, but here's some options for you anyways. So left foot into the right thigh. Look at your right toes, try to draw them back towards your face. Make sure they point straight up. And not out to the right, not out to the left, okay, just straight up. Internal rotation of the thigh. You may have to manipulate this on your own, so take your hands to your thigh, left hand to the right thigh, press it underneath, you might have to lean, move that thing around, and now you have an internal rotation, okay? So hands to either side of the right leg, inhale to lift up your chest. On your exhale, core stays engaged, hinge from your hip bone. Reaching your head forward, not your chin, not your nose, center of the top of your head reaches forward, maybe a little up. You just keep reaching, and as your sides stretch, maybe the arms move forward, not so far forward that your shoulders shift. Shoulders and elbows should stay back. And that's for this style. It's different in other styles. Deep breath in, slow breath out. Check in with your hips and just make sure you're not leaning to one side too much. Balance it out. When you're ready, walk your hands back towards your body. Sitting up tall, we'll switch to the left side, right leg in. So you know your options could be different for you on this side. You may need to have a block underneath the extended leg, right? That's not a non-option. It's available to you. Find the internal rotation of your left leg. Flex your left foot. Hands to the floor. Inhale to lift up your chest. On your exhale, hinge forward. So I often take my hand to my hip points and just make sure that that is where I'm folding from, that I'm not folding into my lower back, that I'm not folding forward and collapsing, but that I'm pressing those hip bones back, folding from that axis. And where there's tightness, you feel it. Sometimes we lean, so try to keep the shoulders level best you can. Blocks can help with that big time, especially if there's an imbalance or if there's just ultra tightness in the tops of the shoulders. Deep breath in. Slow breath out. Walk your hands back towards your body. All right, left leg is going to stay pretty much where it is. Right leg out. Adjust for whatever you need to. Rock your hips side to side. Make sure those hip bones feel down. Hamstrings feel like they're down. Flex your feet. Inhale to lift your chest. On your exhale, hinge from your hip bones. And then walk your hands forward into a fold. Lots of ways to be in this fold. Just keep the shoulders back. Keep lifting up from the chest. Keep flexing your feet. If this feels good, you want a little more, try pressing your hamstrings down, but not the back of your knees. So a micro bend in your knees may be necessary. Walk your hands back towards your body, sitting up tall. All right, so we're going to reverse the stretch, bringing the feet in towards each other, knees open. Bounce your knees a couple times. Make sure everything feels like it's in the right place. And as it's available to you, you slide your heels towards your pelvis instead of pelvis towards your heels. The reason for that is how it can shift your hips and misalign your spine. So heels forward, not hips forward. Hands around the feet or ankles. You can press your knees down, your legs down if that's available to you. You're going to know right away if it's not, so don't try to force it, okay? We need those inner thigh muscles to stay attached. With your inhale, lift up your chest. On your exhale, pull in your core, hinge from that same hip point. Notice what happens as you begin to fold. A lot of times the knees pop up. So a way to remedy that is just to place something underneath the knees. This will let the lower part, the thigh, the lower back begin to relax in the stretch. Elevate your pelvis, sit on a block or pillow instead. If it feels okay, you could take your elbows and press your calves down. You got to have really good awareness of overstretching though. So don't do that if you have maybe a history of injuring the inner thigh area. Deep breath in. Slow breath out. So press the belly button forward. Pull in the pelvic floor. Lift up from your chest. And walk your hands back towards your body. Hands to your knees. Squeeze your knees together. You can rock them a little side to side if that feels good. And we'll move into our first restorative shape, which will be a chest opener, a slight back bend. For some of us, maybe it's more of a back bend. If you need less of a back bend, elevate your bolster or whatever sort of support you're going to set yourself up with under your spine. And that elevation can be nice too if you're getting into your seasonal allergy season, such as myself. I don't know if I can say that again. Seasonal allergy season. Okay. All right, so flexing your feet, sit up tall. Take your hands to the floor and then begin to recline. If it's better for you to have a bend in your knees, go ahead and support yourself with something underneath it first, and then lower back. Lower back is up against your support so that you can kind of melt your upper body over your support. All right, use a pillow under your head if that helps you. You want to be able to breathe and be calm here. So if that is not your experience, give yourself some time. And if that's not helping, give yourself more support. So we don't want to feel overstretched because we'll be here for at least a minute. And in some restorative style classes, you could be in these shapes for up to 15 minutes. So support is essential. Keeps you from injury. Closing your eyes. Relax your shoulders. Relax your core muscles. No need to engage anymore. Don't worry about what the legs are doing, if they're externally rotated or not, it doesn't matter. Deep breath in. Slow breath out. Scanning your body, notice your jaw, your shoulders, hips, heels, all the places in between. And you're welcome to stay here longer. When you're ready to move, arms across your body first, close your shoulders. Notice if you can see behind you, tuck your chin. Bring your big toes in towards each other and point your toes away from your body. Let all of that go on your way up to your seat. Okay, so moving into a side stretch, take your knees to the left. You may or may not need to shift your bolster situation or your support under your spine. You could be using something a lot smaller than a bolster. It could even be a towel, right? Or like a comforter that's rolled up. Just make sure that it is supporting you in the natural curve of your spine. So your waistline and between the underarm area, okay? So we want to take, if we're using the bolster or whatever, we'll say anything you're using, just the density is going to be a little bit different between what you're using. This is really tough, really dense. So for me, the left hip, the left side of the body, pressing up against this is a good starting point for me. I know it's going to support me from there. Sometimes you need to add a little towel right there if you have a big curve in your waistline. So left hand down, slide it down your support, grab a block or a pillow or something so your hand has something to relax on and not just hang out. Something in between the knees or the ankles could be nice here. Sometimes people like weighted blankets. Bring your head down. Right arm could be by your side, could be behind you, could be across your body. However, if you go across your body, you probably need something underneath it so that your body doesn't lean too far forward. Closing your eyes. Deep breath in. Slow breath out. Settling into the shape, scan the right side of your body. Notice the right glute. You might be pressing your left thigh or glute into the floor, not even realizing it. And for some of us, we'll stay here. For some of us, we'll add to a twist through our torso, placing the right hand down. Lift your torso, left hand slides back. So both hands are set up on either side equally. Lifting from the chest, breathe in. On your exhale, lower your upper body back down. Maybe your forearms lower, and you look to whatever side is most comfortable in your spine. Bring your head to center, push yourself up. We're gonna sit down into your right hip, right? It might not touch the floor, but just bring it down. Right hand to the ground, left arm reaches up, but just a nice side stretch. Don't worry too much about what's going on. Just feel good in the stretch. And we'll take this to the other side. So same thing, different side, knees to the right. Placing your right hip close to your support. Right hand slides down, supporting the rib cage along the way, catching the right hand on something, lowering your head down, left hand behind you, down your side or across your body. If you like to add your twist, left hand down. Push yourself up, lift up your chest. Square your hands and your shoulders, your torso, breathe in. On your exhale, lower your upper body down. Look to whatever side you like. Slowly bring your head to center, push yourself up. Round your left hip further towards the floor, though it may not touch. Reach the left hand out, right arm up and over, big stretch. All right, so now let's take child's pose. You could choose to do this supported or without support, up to you. Knees as wide as it feels comfortable towards you, or wide on your mat. If this hurts your knees, put something underneath your knees. It's possible you might need something in between the knee and the calf as well. Same goes for tops of the feet. Anywhere there's sensitivity, even just adding a little dish towel can be helpful. So maybe you like to use the support, maybe not. Bring your upper body down, arms down, look to whatever side, maybe straight down. And just try to soften the lower back. You may need to wiggle around a little bit. Sometimes taking a bolster and then placing a pillow underneath your belly can help to lift your lower back area a little bit more to give you more of a stretch in the lower back. Maybe we'll try that out. And if you needed that stretch somewhere along the spine, you could use the same sort of method. So you could move the pillow out maybe more towards your chest. That's going to lift the center of the spine. You know, so you can play around with these little props to see how they can help elevate your relaxing or your flexibility. Bring your head to center and make your way up. So setting up for our final shape, Shavasana, you may choose a traditional shape for Shavasana without any props at all. You may like to have legs up the wall or legs up the chair, right? So do whatever you prefer in this shape. If you're not familiar with the Shavasana, it's the final shape in most yoga classes where you're practicing stillness. And that may mean you need a lot of support to get into a place where you can be still. So facilitate that for yourself if you have time. I'm going to place my legs over a bolster, use a pillow for under my head. And you could use the bolster the other way too. I just like long ways sometimes. I have long legs. All right. So place your arms where it's most comfortable for you. And scan your body, see where you can get heavier, where your spine can get a little flatter on the floor, or maybe your spine is supported and it's in a different situation and that doesn't apply, right? So how does relaxing and stillness apply to you? Deep breath in. And slow breath out. Stay here as long as you like. When you're ready to move, circle around your ankles, your wrist. Move your fingers around, wiggle your toes. You might move your head side to side. Depending on your lower back and your hamstrings, you might like to bring your legs into your chest and give yourself a hug. When you're ready, come up to your seat. Sitting up tall, closing your eyes. Take a deep breath in. And your slowest breath out through your nose. Again, inhale. Exhale. A little bit deeper. Inhale. Exhale. Normal breath. Thank your mind and your body for what it is capable of today. Thank you so much for joining me, and you call this yoga. If it's a part of your practice, palms together at the center of your chest. Namaste.